Welcome to Politics Done Right. I am your host, Egberto Willies. This is a progressive program that will take the mystery out of politics. This is the program that will encourage you to make sure government becomes we the people. Whether you are liberal, progressive, conservative, or otherwise, you get to air your point of view. We are an independent media outlet that, unlike mainstream media beholden to corporations, we only owe allegiance to you. Remember, you can also send me a tweet at EGBERTOWILLIES. That is at Egberto Willies. Let us engage. It is Politics Done Right. Well, folks, welcome to one more edition of Politics and Run. Egberto Willies, your host. Thank you so kindly for being a part of the show. We are going to have a great show for you today. I see folks are already here. Welcome aboard. Michael Rudnin for Brooklyn, New York. We also have Eric Hayes in Tuscaloosa, Kingwood. Mike Cisak somewhere in Missouri. Paul Fleming in Powder Springs, Georgia. In the house as well is... Para ver, I'm scrolling up. I don't see all my people that are registered yet. But anyhow, let's get ready. Egberto, I'm away today, so let me front load what's going to be on Blue Sky. Well, thank you for front loading, my dear friend. I also says, Egberto, first of two, a meme for the screen. I'm sure you've seen the zig it twice from Elon Musk and right-wing bubble. Yeah, the Nazi salute. The Nazi salute. And you know I've got to put that on the screen. Look, these guys, I don't know what's wrong with them. It's almost like they want to say, yeah, we are, and we can tell you, but we want to have plausible deniability. We want to have plausible deniability. So check it out here, folks, on the screen. Race predicts crime. Only the AfD can save Germany. Jews push hatred against whites. This guy sounds like a Nazi. You're insane, says MAGA. Nope, he's just showing love to the crowd. I won't do it, but look at what he did. Look at what he did. And he didn't do it one time. He did it twice. One right after the other. The guy, but then again, the guy's from South Africa. His dad is from South Africa, apartheid South Africa. And that is truly ingrained in how they were reared. So it's not unexpected at all. I am sorry. I was going to go ahead and clip the video. I didn't clip the video. Next time I'll clip the video for that. Anyway, Rolling Stone says right-wing extremists are abuzz over Musk's straight arm salute. Right-wing extremists, white nationalists, and neo-Nazis are celebrating an alarming gesture made by the world's richest man. At a post-inauguration rally Monday, Elon Musk thanked Donald Trump supporters with a gesture that resembles a Roman salute, the Siege Hail. First, put in his palm to his chest and then extended a stiff right arm toward the crowd at slight elevation and with his palm down. It wasn't a one-off. He later repeated the gesture. It was eagerly received by extremists online. Christopher Paulhaus, the leader of the notorious neo-Nazi group Blood Tribe, posted the clip of Musk's salute on Telegram with a lightning bolt emoji evoking the Nazi SS and the caption, "I don't care if this was a mistake. I'm going to enjoy the tears over it." Another neo-Nazi leader, Christopher Hood, who founded the New England Race Separatist Movement, NSC 131, also posted the clip to a Telegram with emojis. Andrew Torva is the founder of the far-right Christian nationalist social media platform Gab, which pioneered AI-powered Nazi chatbot. He shared the clip on his account with the caption, "Incredible things are happening already in laughing my A off." Far-right author Keith Woods, whom the Southern Poverty Law Center has called a self-described ethno-nationalist and an anti-Semite, shared the clip in a post on X, writing, "Okay, maybe woke really is dead." Thomas Sewell, an Australia-based neo-Nazi whose Telegram avatar is a picture of himself throwing a Roman salute, posted the video of Musk calling it a Donald Trump white power moment. Amazing. Michael Egberto for the second screen from AOC. Okay, let's see what it says here. I like that one as well. So let's put it on for AOC. And it goes as follows. AOC says, just to be clear, you are defending a Heil Hitler salute that was performed and repeated for emphasis and clarity. People can officially stop listening to you as any sort of reputable source of information now. You work for them. Thank you for making that crystal clear to all. The ADL says, this is a delicate moment. It's a new day, and yet so many are on the edge. Our politics are inflamed, and social media only adds to the anxiety. It seemed that Elon Musk made an awkward gesture in a moment of enthusiasm, not a Nazi salute. We appreciate that people are. Wait a minute. Did the Anti Defamation League actually come out in the defense of Musk? Am I understanding that right? Again, I repeat, I didn't see this message before from the ADL, but I cannot believe the Anti Defamation League is going to come out with a message like that, even after all the things that are racist that El Señor Musk has done. Am I dreaming? Am I in an alternate state of reality? Hassan Piker, the ADL have never been honest about their true intentions. The ADL is not the Anti Defamation League. They love defaming people, calling them anti Semites. They're not the Anti Defamation League, they are the Apartheid Defense League. They only care about defending Israeli apartheid. I think that has to, after the ADL comes out in defense of Elon Musk, I can't see any other way of interpreting that. I really cannot see any other way. Please tell me where I am wrong, people. Let me know if you think I'm wrong. In whatever platform you're on, drop me a line or something. Am I really wrong? I don't think so. I don't think so. Let me throw that back on the screen because I can't believe it. The ADL says in defense of Musk, this is a delicate moment. It's a day, and yet so many are on edge. Our politics are inflamed, and social media only adds to the anxiety. It seems that Elon Musk made an awkward gesture in a moment of enthusiasm, and they tagged Elon Musk. So it's evident that what they want is some of Elon Musk's $1 billion to go into the ADL's coffers. So they will sell out Jewish people for a racist like El Señor Musk. Oh my God. And well, already they're supporting Trump. So if they support Trump, that goes without saying, right? That goes without saying who they really are. The Anti-Defamation League, that is. All right, Axios says the Trump meme coin doubles again, stake worth 58 billion or more. The stunning launch caught the entire industry off guard and speaks to both his personal influence and the ascendancy of cryptocurrency in his administration. No, it speaks to the stupidity of the populace that thinks they're going to make a buck on an imaginary device called cryptocurrency. When it falls on its face, the big guys are by then going to be out. But hey, it also speaks to the nature of the crypto industry that someone could have more than 50 billion worth of something that literally did not exist 48 hours previously. You hear that? They created $50 billion out of thin air. Does the United States government do that as well? Yes, but what backs it? The government. We can create money as a government because we can say this is something you got to pay for. But the cryptocurrency, we could pass a law tomorrow and say that's gambling, that's illegal. Cryptocurrency is a fraud. It may be a fraud that lasts for a year or more. It may be a fraud that lasts for 10 more years, but it is a fraud. All right. Well, again, you know what? Let me shut up because the stock market is a fraud and it's been around since or near our inception, right? So maybe the con will last as long as the stock market. I don't know. Maybe the con will last as long as the stock market, which has lasted thus far. But get my drift. The stock market is in fact a con as well. And anybody wants to debate whether the stock market is a con, feel free to give me a call at 281-823-7747. Let's go through the proofs. I don't say anything without proof and evidence. So let's just give me a call if you think I'm wrong when I say the stock market is a fraud. Anyway, we have Donald. We call it a gambling casino. According to Bernie Sanders said it is the biggest. What did he call it? He called it the biggest. I don't think he called it a fraud. He called it something else. But we have the reasons why. All right, continuing. Let's see what else we've got here that's worth talking about. I'm scrolling down. Folks, thank you for being here. Paul Fleming says, reminder that Amazon, Meta, Apple, and Google are each facing federal antitrust lawsuits. They each gave cash hand over fist to Trump inaugural fund, which raked in a record $250 million. That's going into Trump's pocket. When I say money in politics corrupt our system, this is what I'm talking about. Exactly right, my brother. Exactly right. Lee the Bearcat says, yo, all why is Vindman's wife pissed off at Biden? Think Trump will go after him? Uh, he will try to, and I am baffled, and I haven't read the story, but I am baffled that Biden would not have pardoned Vindman. I am baffled, right? Was it an oversight? Did Vindman go out there and seek it? I don't know. Egberto, what do you suggest people do to get rich? First of all, if you want to get rich, create something and own your creation. And if you create something and own your creation, that is the proper way of getting rich. When I say rich, I don't even talk about filthy rich. I mean getting paid for the spoils that you provide, Lee Beercat. Let me give an example. I created a product called COM-DRV. You can look that up. COAM-DRV. The reason I created that product was I saw a need in the market. We had PCs all over the place, and every PC had a magic tool called a serial port that sends out bits, ones, and zeros that can be turned into a whole lot of data, transmit the data from point A to point B. And what I did is I created a product that made that chip do something that it wasn't designed to do. So I used in software what normally hardware and firmware would have done in that chip. And because I had the only product at the time that could do it with that chip, all the majors bought the product from me, whether it be Boeing, whether it be NASA, whether it be private companies that have labs, the different companies that have labs and needed to get data serially from point A to point B. So I made at that point a lot of money. And I remember when I was creating this product, I was over $100,000 in the red from the business not making the money while we're investing the money from credit card, 19%, 20%, 21% rate credit cards to fund our living expenses while I'm just creating this product, a software product. And then it took off, and it did what it was supposed to do, and all these companies bought it. It bought every car that I've ever had. It bought my home. It bought absolutely everything. And I kept the business going and lived a pretty darn good life. But there was something about it that I cared about, right? And Bernie is a millionaire, yes. And Bernie, again, he wrote his product, he created his product, and he sold his product. So yes, I don't have anything against somebody becoming a millionaire on their own worth at all, at all. But anyway, the story that I'm trying to tell you is creating your own product and owning your own product. You have people who create their product and then they sell the rights to their product, and somebody else continues to make a whole lot of money on it, and they make more money than you yourself would have made on that product. But we can go into an economics class some other time. But I just want to say that I have nothing against wealthy people if you made it the right way. But for all those stockbrokers and all these guys that make money on top of you, for Jeff Bezos who makes money by turning you into a slave for him, I don't know if you know how the selling stuff on Amazon did. I used to sell some of my products on Amazon. I quit doing that as well. I'm talking about the hardware product and my software products. I sell my books there because it's a turnkey operation and I don't need to keep stock. So there are ways to do it. There are correct ways to do it, and then there are slave capitalist ways to do it. And that's what I'm talking about, Lee the Beer Cat. If you want to get onto some more detail, you can always entertain by giving us a call and asking specific questions at 281-823-7747. All right, let's continue. Steigen Bergen Greek says, this is super crazy. We're watching the normalization of fascism in real time. Fascist regimes need a scapegoat to prosecute, and I fear they have decided the LGBT community are the new Jews. I am thinking of buying a gun for the first time in life. Look, do what you got to do to defend yourself, my friend Steigen Berger Greek. Do what you got to do. And yes, we are normalizing fascists. We are normalizing evil. Now, let's see what else we got here. Melanie Keelan from Barcelona, Spain. How are you doing, my dear sister from La España? ¿Cómo está mi corazón? Hace tiempo que no te he visto o que no te he oído. No hemos tenido nuestro Ask Egberto anything. Pide a Egberto lo que sea. But we will. All right. Leah Bearcat says, why would Biden pardon his family when the media is 2020 criticized Trump for it? Schumer did the same in 2020, but now they're quiet. Why? If you believed in context, you'd understand why. If you have a president that's saying, I'm coming to get all these people that I have a bite with, then that's the only recourse. So I am for doing that. A lot of purists would say, "Oh, don't pardon these because it makes it the same." No, context. And unfortunately, a lot of us don't do context. All right, Egberto, couldn't you have stayed doing well and doing politics too? Why sacrifice comfort? No, I could not. I could not have done that. Keeping WCSC, Willie's Computer My Software Company, going meant going to conferences, meant writing software, keeping up to date, meaning transitioning from RS-232 communication to Bluetooth communication to IEEE communication. It meant, it's a constant learning process. You don't, again, that's the difference between the people who actually innovate and create something and those who just depend on others. Capitalists can do things like that. They're parasites. They depend on the work of others, right? But the guys, the engineers, the doctors, the lawyers, they actually produce something. And it takes work and effort to produce something. And they get paid well. They don't get super wealthy because they're not parasites sucking the blood off of everybody with doing no work. And that's the difference, Lee the Beer Cat. Again, if you want to ask more detailed questions, feel free to call. My dear brother Bruce Pollard is in St. Paul, Minnesota. Hey, Bruce, we got some snow like you would not imagine. And let me see. I think I was supposed to prepare the pictures for you all to see. But what I'm going to do right now is go ahead and see if I can go to my camera roll. I think my camera roll is online. So if I can get to my camera roll, I want to show you guys what it looks like here in I want to show you guys what it looks like here in I tell you what, I probably have to do it from another screen. But yeah, we are getting I don't know how come I didn't start the program that way. Folks, it snowed this morning in Houston like we have never ever seen. We got snow like we have never seen in Houston. And I think I'm going to be able to show you a picture or two of what it looked like in Houston because this is stuff that doesn't happen here. And when it happens, the city shuts down. And not only does the city shut down, but people go bat, you know what, crazy because it's like, snow! We don't see this down here. So the things are loading. I hope I can load it in time for me to show you guys. I have a video for you as well. Bruce, how cold is it out there? Right now we are at 37 degrees right now. But let me show you some pictures, guys. I'm going to show you a few pictures of what it looks like here in Houston because it's a trip. Bear with me a second. I want to get you some good pictures that kind of shows a winter wonderland here. All right, here is the first one. There you go. That is right in front of my house. And you see that everything is covered in snow. I don't know why this picture rotated. It's not supposed to be rotated. But this is my house and this is all the snow and that's my daughter out there standing up checking out the snow. I mean, we don't get this stuff in Kingwood. We don't get this stuff in Texas, man. So when we see this, it is like, wow, it's the end. It's not the end of the world. It's like, what's happening out here? Anyway, so yeah, we had a lot of snow. And Bruce, you missed, if you're in St. Paul, Bruce, you missed the great happenings in Houston today, having all this snow. Anyway, continuing with the program. Look, let's see. Lee Beercat says, why accuse people of what you do? I am not accusing people at all of what I do. Please tell me, my dear Beercat, what am I accusing people of that I do that, I'm not sure I understand where you're coming from. But I tell you what, let's do this. Let's go ahead and talk about, let me play the video that I prepared for you all today, and then we'll continue the program. And anybody else who wants to call in, don't forget the number is 281-823-7747. Okay, Bruce says it is 6 Fahrenheit right now, and it was negative 17 last night. That'll kill me. All right, let's go to the video, and then we'll take it on the other side. I'm generally amused when I listen to my MAGA brothers and sisters support Elon Musk and say, yay, yay, look at what he's going to do with DOGE. He's going to show you guys something. He's going to cut all these things. He's going to take the waste out of government. He's going to do all these great things. He's going to cut $2 trillion out of the American budget, and you guys got to see. But you see, the thing about it is Donald Trump and Elon Musk and the right has been doing a snow job on MAGA and conservative Republicans for a very long time. They're always talking about wasteful government. They're always talking about overspending. The reality is, of course, that the biggest overspenders whenever presidents are elected are generally Republicans. Even Nikki Haley pointed out that Donald Trump blew the budget more so than any other president in recent times. In fact, the only person in my lifetime who has actually balanced the budget was Bill Clinton, a Democrat. The only others that have actually reduced this budget was Obama and, again, lately, El Señor Biden. So the reality is talk is what all of these Republican politicians do, but act. They bloviate, they talk a lot, they mention things, they get things, they make you believe that the government is wasteful, which is true, but that the waste in the government are those guys on the blue side wasting your money. Those guys on the blue side are the ones doing all these issues. Look, when Elon Musk convinces the president to cut certain programs, it's not well, I tell you what, let's go ahead and listen to Michael Steele, and then I'll finish up because I want to point out something very important to all of you. Here we go. Michael Steele, take it away.
Elon Musk posted on X a photo of Donald Trump regaining the POTUS social media handle. And what he wrote was, quote, you see it there at the top, the return of the king. Any concerns about the world's richest man having the president's ear, maybe an office down the hall? And also, Trump said that Musk will be getting an office for 20 people. How do you see this working?
Right. I don't. It's just a hot mess. I don't know what the lawsuits say. I haven't had a chance to look at them yet, but they're legitimate, and it's a legitimate concern. The world's richest man is sitting across the street from the Oval Office. He clearly has more power than the Vice President of the United States. He clearly has more influence than any member of Congress. He is going, they want to create this entity in which there's no ethical oversight. There's no governmental oversight. And, he's going to run roughshod and protect his little fiefdom. Look, I've said it from the very first day this man was announced for this job, that the deal he's cut with Trump is to become the world's first trillionaire. He's $500 million away from that. You don't think this man that we're looking at is going to make $500 million over the next 4 years under Donald Trump? Hell yes. When you consider that Trump's son-in-law walked away from the White House with a $2 billion Saudi deal. So tell me how this is not going to work for these folks. But here's the rub. No one in Washington gives a damn. Not on Capitol Hill, not on K Street, because they're all trying to figure out how they get a piece of it or get protected so their little fiefdom does not get exercised by DOGE, whatever the hell is calling itself. So we're all bought in here onto this. The American people signed on the dotted line. Do more of this. And they think that they're going to benefit. Look, you're going to slash $2 trillion out of the nation's, off the nation's book. Where are you getting it from? They're not telling you where it's coming from. And you know who's going to ultimately pay for it? All the MAGAs in places like Alabama and Mississippi, who already rely on a lot of federal dollars to make their ends meet in those states. It's not going to hurt California. It's not going to hurt New York. They contribute massive amounts of dollars and get back very few federal dollars. Where this comes home to roost is in the very center of MAGA land. And they seem to be okay with that. So cut away, my friend, and just let the squealing begin.
Now, let me remind you guys of something. The biggest part of the budget after entitlements, and depending on how you counted it, it's even higher than entitlements, it's a defense budget. The defense budget is filled with wasteful spending. I mean, we overpay for missiles, we overpay for rockets, we overpay for screws, we overpay for hammers, we overpay for everything. We overpay when SpaceX, which Elon Musk is the CEO of, we overpay them to launch items into orbit. We overpay AWS to Bezos when we use those services. So the government overpays and overpays, but the people who get most of those overpayments are the oligarchs. If go ADM, the folks who control our foods. It's not the farmers that get most of the money from the farm bill. It's ultimately going to the oligarchs. It's not the people, the soldiers who fight our wars, who get most of the increases and increases and increases in the budget. It's not the missiles that really cost more in material. It is there are the oligarchs that are getting the profits. Whenever you see us going to war, whenever you see us building the bombs, it is those shareholders in these companies that are run by the oligarchs that are actually the ones that are making the profit. Yet, when Elon Musk and all these guys talk about wasteful spending, they talk about the pennies that they give to somebody in food stamps that may have one time or a few times decide to have something that they believe they are not, that the plutocracy believe those poor people are not worthy of. They want to cut the Social Security, the compact that we have made with our citizens to have a reasonable life after work. They want to cut that Medicaid. They want to cut from those who can least afford to find a way to solve their medical problems. That's what they're talking about cutting. They're not talking about cutting the defense budget. They're not talking about cutting the subsidies to ADM. They're not talking about cutting the subsidies to oil companies. Oh, they can continue to get tax breaks, tax cuts, and everything. DOGE is on you, the Department of whatever it is called, to remove all that stuff is on you. And as Michael Steele pointed out, and I have pointed out in blog after blog, in video after video, the people who get the most from the government are the red states. The red states are the states that are poorly managed. They tax incorrectly, and as such, they have the least educated people. They also have the sickest people, and they also have the people that need the most. When the infrastructure bill was passed, most of that money from the infrastructure bill went to red states. When the Medicare expansion, all the monies for healthcare got passed, most of the red people in the red states are the ones that are advantaged by these policies. So here we have, you just kicked the Democrats out of the presidency, the House, and the Senate. Yet the bills that they voted for, the bills that these people voted for, all those poor people that thought they were doing something on January 6th to support the grand Führer, Donald Trump. All of those people who thought they were supporting somebody who cared about them, who supported them. All they were doing is fighting for somebody who ultimately came back into power and will use his power to screw the ones who got him there. You ever wonder why he wants to get everything done quickly? Because he wants to get it done, and after that, he's out of Dodge. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you hate him or like him. He's on his golf course playing golf for the next 3 years. Folks, wake up. You know what being woke is all about? Being woke is opening your eyes and seeing things for the way they really are. My MAGA brothers and sisters, you're about to get screwed over and over by your Führer. You're about to get screwed over and over by your Führer. Oh, I don't know. That's a new one to me, my dear sister. What is that all about? Let me go ahead and put that out. Let's see. Times Now World. U.S. Constitution. Let's put it on screen. This is from Vrij MCP. Welcome aboard, Vrij. Haven't seen you in a few days. Thank you for being here. It says on the screen, several social media users on Tuesday pointed out that the U.S. Constitution appeared to have been removed from the White House website just a day after President Donald Trump's inauguration. After checking, we found these claims to be accurate. A search for the U.S. Constitution on the White House website leads to a 404. Let's see if that's true. Let me go ahead and let's do this. White House, U.S. government, the Constitution. Now, look, are we sure that it's not somewhere else? Let's see if that go to the homepage is also on the. Before I just jump on something like that, I always want to make sure that because what we believe in here. Let's do this. Let's go to the website. We're on the whitehouse.gov Constitution. Let's see if it's somewhere else. Reforming government, protecting the United States, restoring accountability. What I did is I went to the website and I searched for Constitution to see, because they're revamping the website to make it more Trump-like, right? So the thing here is, let's see. I'm looking to see if there is anything that. Let's change the search to say U.S. Constitution. And see if that makes a difference. Privacy, restoring American great inaugural address, declaring the cabinet. Well, I don't see any. Well, let's wait a few days. I'm not going to make this a real story yet until we. I won't make it a real story yet until we give these guys a chance to build up the website, because right now the website belongs to Biden. Or rather, the website had all the setup for Biden. It could be that the directory and stuff, that they're rearranging directories and so forth. And in doing so, a 404 error is not at all impossible when you're rearranging your pages and then you have to relink and all that good stuff. Of course, it should be done in a more professional manner that all references that go to a 404 come out and say something to the effect, we're rebuilding the website. Please bear with us as some of our documents will be missing. That is a professional way of revamping a website if you're changing the structure and moving things around. So I won't knock Trump yet on this issue until we give them a chance to build out their website. Now, that said, we know that, and I don't want to mince my word here. The Trump administration is a criminal enterprise, and unfortunately, we are going to have to work hard to mitigate that because they hold the power of the executive. We are going to have to use the power of persuasion, and we're going to have to use the power that we have when truth is made towards MAGA. MAGA has got to be a part of this solution, um, really, because only when he starts to lose enough MAGA support. Remember, I'm not talking about majority or anything like that. Only when he starts to lose MAGA support will he start to look over his shoulder. And that's what we want Trump doing, looking over his shoulder. All right, let's see what else we got here. Oh, we got one from Bridge MCP. What is this one about, Bridge? Let me go to. Oh, I don't want to go get a Dooney. All the rich women use Doonies, right? Let's get out of there and let me get that screenshot that you had there. That's the screenshot. Let's put it on the screen for you, Bridge. And anybody wants to call in, it's 281-823-7747. All right, Bridge, let's go to the screen. The screen says as follows. Following 16, First Lady Melania Trump, President Donald J. Trump, the White House, and Vice President J.D. Vance. Bridge, what am I missing here, Bridge? Egberto, many FB users have had this happen, including me. Zuck found a way to make us follow them. Oh, really? Really? Wow. Are you saying you've never followed them, but on Twitter, somehow now you're following them? Is that what you're saying, Bridge? Uh, Give me a call. I can't believe that. If that happens, we need to publicize that immensely. Yeah, we need to publicize that completely. We definitely need to publicize that. Anyway, the second subject for today, after pointing out to all of my MAGA brothers and sisters that they've already started to mess with you, they've already started to make you poorer than you already are, because look, there are two groups of MAGA, right? There's a false MAGA, and those are the folks that understand. There we go. Hello, Bridge. How you doing, sis?
AI is taking notes.
Hey, how you doing? I just wanted to explain that.
Yeah, please do.
It started yesterday, right after the inauguration, I think. It started, one of the people in my group said that this is happening, and I said, what? So I went and I checked my Facebook page, and you go to where you follow people. You follow news sites or whatever you follow. And there they were. I was like, holy crap, I never followed the president. I never followed the vice president. People saying, oh, if you follow the first president. No, I never did. And who the hell follows Melania Trump? I mean, give me a break.
So wait, let me ask you this: the actual when you're following, okay, the White House is one Twitter account, right? So I think it would be the same for.
I don't know about Twitter. I'm not on Twitter. This is Facebook.
Okay. Oh, this is Facebook. Okay. On Facebook, the White House, the account that you show for White House, is it White House at all, or does it say something else? And likewise for Melania, does it say First Lady, the actual thing, or does it say Melania Trump? I'm not talking about
both.
It
Some
says
say First Lady, some say Melania, some say First Lady.
Okay, because
But I
here's
never
what happened.
I never followed any of them. So what you're going to say is, since they changed the regime,
Right.
that all of a sudden now they're taking it over. That's not what's happening. Because we took a
Oh,
poll. How many
right.
people are really following them? And everyone was like, same as me. Who the hell follows Melania Trump? I never
Right.
followed the First Lady. I never followed Harris. I never followed Biden. I never followed the White House.
Okay.
It's just appearing on everybody's following list. And the only way
Okay.
to do it is you can't unfollow them because it comes right back. You
Are
have
you
to actually go there and block them.
You're kidding me. If you unfollow them, it comes back?
It comes right back because I unfollowed them thinking, all right, that's the end of that. And then someone said, no, go back and check. And I went back and checked and they were there again.
Okay, let me ask you to do something else. Try to unfollow somebody else and see if
Oh, I
that's the
did that.
same behavior.
I checked that. I did that also to check to say, well, let me just unfollow somebody else that I really don't even follow anymore. And
Uh-huh.
I went on there and they didn't come back.
Okay. The reason I do these things, right, Bridge, is because before we go bat, you know what, crazy, I want to make sure that first that it's not something sinister that somebody gonna come back and say you guys overreacted. I want to make sure that we
Well,
like
that's what I
this,
wanted to make sure. I mean,
right?
I have a group of 38,000 people, and I'd say 50% of them were complaining. And then I have another group, a smaller group, and they were all complaining. So we all got together and did a poll and
Hmm.
checked it and unfollowed and did all that stuff. And we could not get it to do it. Oh, look, Alistair Waters just said it. I was following the orange one on Facebook unbeknownst to me.
Okay, so it happened to
So
her as well. Yeah.
it
Well, look,
happened I can't tell you how many people.
good. I'm glad that you said that. So what we're saying then, folks, is the following. Uh, a lot of Facebook users have inadvertently been forced to follow the first lady, the president, and the White House. You know what that seems like? If all of this works out as follows, that's a way to feed information to the people, the information
Oh,
they want
yeah.
fed to the people. And
And
with
no one could do
Musk,
that but Zuckerberg.
Zuckerberg has to change the algorithm to do that. Absolutely so.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely
I mean,
so.
the, the thing is, how I knew was all of a sudden I started coming up in the feed, things from J.D. Vance, things from Trump. I'm like, what the hell is this? And that's when I started noticing the messages and people messaging me, and I'm like, oh crap, this is wrong. And I just was like, and then also what's happening is that on those Facebook has those little short videos called Reels that
Right.
you could watch, animals or whatever.
Yeah, I make
They're
them.
now
Yeah.
bombarded with they're bombarded with MAGA stuff. And
Yeah.
of course,
Yeah.
if you click it, you're going to get more. One begets another.
Oh
So
yeah.
they're just flooding the reels with old MAGA crap.
Well, they
More
don't
like this.
go
They
ahead.
say more like your friggin' your YouTube channel. All I see is them post. I'm like, oh my God. But anyway, so that's why I'm not
Well,
here
look,
often.
thank you for
I thought it
giving
was
us that
important.
information. I think that is actually important because we're starting to see a lot of things. And look, with the oligarchy, the leaders in the communications portion of the oligarchy, meaning Jeff Bezos with newspapers, right? We have Zuckerberg with Instagram, Zuckerberg with WhatsApp, Zuckerberg with Facebook. We also have Elon Musk with Twitter, right? And now we have
And
who knows who's going to be really in control of TikTok. There's likely going to be some Chinese Trump alliance to get TikTok back on. So these are things that we have to watch.
well, they're saying that Zuckerberg may get TikTok.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, and that would
Like,
mean, and guess what? Think about it. Zuckerberg now has an office in the White House. What
I
does that
know.
tell you?
Well, he's
That
sleeping with Trump. I don't want to say it that way, but
no, that what he's doing,
he's
what this is he's going to be the Führer's mouthpiece through communication means, and he's going to demand from Zuckerberg and all these guys what the messaging is going to have to be. So for the people that are listening to us, this isn't imagination here. This is how we take over people's minds. Those of you who think MAGA are crazy or MAGA are gullible, I don't want you to look at MAGA that way. I want you to look at MAGA as folks who got the information tailored to them. And you have to be careful because this information that's going to be coming from Facebook and Twitter and TikTok, now is going to have a queue ready to take more of you under its wing. So look, these are difficult times, and taking over a system doesn't require violence. It just requires controlling your mind, and that's what
That's
we are up
it.
against. Yeah,
You know,
it
there's
just
another. We have a guy. I'm sorry. We have a guy in our group, and very intelligent older man. He's 71 or something, but was CEO of companies and into technology and a lot of stuff. He's very deep into research, and he posted this thing, but he took it over 3 days to do it because it was so long. He has a friend that he grew up with, a childhood friend, and he calls him Mark, MAGA Mark, but he calls him Mark, and his father was one of the originals, or his grandfather was one of the originals in the KKK, and the guy sat down, and they do talk once in a while, and the guy sat down to explain to him what MAGA is, and it boils down to this. He said, it's not those people that you see on Facebook Warriors and those people at the, the shows and the rallies and those people you show in trailer parks giving money. It's not them. That's not MAGA. It's not these idiots that think they're MAGA. Because MAGA is part of the KKK Christian revolution that's been going on forever. It's always been there. They just call it MAGA now. Now, the guy Mark has gotten away from it, but his brother and his father are deeply, deeply in it. And it's really a bunch of rich white men, not Elon Musk rich, I mean just rich.
Yeah.
And they're the ones that are really pushing the show. Like they said, when they got Trump, they knew they had a puppet.
Exactly.
And they knew that if they just kept on giving him money, they would just do what they said to do. Not MAGA, not these like Eric Hayes people that really don't know what the hell they're talking about. These people did. And they directed him to focus on this, to pull the rest of the people up and get a following. And those people now are kind of annoyed about Elon Musk. They don't want him there.
Yeah, it's amazing, right?
They're really annoyed.
I have a blog to post. I have the video that I picked up from MSNBC, where you have the MAGA portion of the real MAGA portion is actually now pissed off at the Elon Musk portion, and judging that. And by the way, the one run by, what's his name, the guy that went to jail, Bannon. Bannon is Bannon and is right now feuding with Elon Musk.
Oh yeah.
And Bannon said Elon Musk will not get even close to the White House. And pretty much Trump stuck a finger in his eye, because now he actually gave Musk an office in the White House. It's going to be interesting. And what we have to do, though, Bridge, is we have to go to the gettable MAGA. I'm not talking about Eric or CSEC or these guys. These guys are wired differently. But we have to go ahead and get to the people who actually think they're fighting for something as MAGA, and let them realize we are in the same boat, that they are actually our real brothers and sisters, not those crazies. Because look, one of the, in fact, I'm going to talk about this when when you're off the phone. I'm going to do it for about 3 minutes. I can get off the phone
now. That's all I had to say. That's all I had to say.
Thank you, sis. I appreciate the call.
Okay.
All right. All right, folks, look, the next subject that we're talking about today is a story about the executive orders, okay? And the executive order story is one that should wake you all up. Like Michael told you, Michael Steele told you, MAGA is just being used for a few people, right? MAGA is there the MAGA movement is saying, let's use those yahoos to help us continue to enrich ourselves and our friends. They're yahoos. We can tell them anything and they'll believe it. And it doesn't matter how things break down. It doesn't matter. Already Michael Steele pointed out how they were used, right? He pointed out that all the monies that Elon Musk is talking about cutting going to be coming out of Alabama, Mississippi, Texas, and all these red states, because those are the states with the most needs. Think about it. These are the states with the most needs. So they're the ones that are going to be paying the price of Elon Musk cuts. The blue states are going to be fine. They are going to be fine. Well, here now we have one of the first things that Donald Trump did was the following. Trump rescinds Biden order aimed at lowering prescription drugs. Who need lower prescription drug prices again? Please remind me. People who don't make a lot of money. Who are the people who don't make a lot of money? Mostly are. Where are the majority of them located? Red states are there, you know who they are. So, as part of a flurry of executive actions on the first day of his second White House term, President Donald Trump on Monday rescinded an order signed by his predecessor that aimed to develop programs to lower prescription drug prices in the United States, where residents pay far more for medications than other people in peer countries. News of Trump rollback of Executive Order 14087, titled Lowering Prescription Drug Costs for Americans, was buried amid dozens of other decisions the president ordered shortly following his inauguration. And notice he didn't go ahead and say anything about it. The decision to scrap Executive Order 14087 brings to a halt several pilot programs undertaken by the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Innovation, including an experiment that involved offering generic medications for a $2 copay to Medicare Part D recipients. Think about that. That would have helped you, MAGA. Donald Trump was going to say $2 copay for any medication that you need. The act is a good indication of how Trump will approach lower drug prices. Social Security Works, a progressive advocacy group, wrote in response to Trump's rescission of President Biden's executive orders. Larry Levitt, executive vice president of health policy at KFF, added that the big question which Trump has addressed yet is what he'll do with government negotiation of drug prices under the Inflation Reduction Act, because that is a law, right? Just days before Trump took office, the Biden administration announced a fresh slate of 15 medications set to subject to a direct price negotiation between the federal government and pharmaceutical companies, many of which have sued over negotiation program, thus far unsuccessful. Reuters reported last week that the powerful pharmaceutical lobby has been pushing Trump's team to back changes to the Inflation Reduction Act that would weaken the price negotiation provision. In other words, please, Mr. Trump, screw your MAGA base one more time. Donald Trump is already following through on his dangerous plans to jack up the cost of drugs to appease his billionaire backers after the Biden-Harris administration took on Big Pharma and won. Alex Floyd, Rapid Response Director for the Democratic National Committee, said in a statement, Trump is again proving that he lied to the American people. He lied to MAGA, not the American people. He lied to MAGA and doesn't care about lowering costs, only what's best for himself and his ultra-rich friends. Responded more broadly to the president's day one wave of unilateral actions, which included attacks on immigrants and the climate, Working Families Party Director Maurice Mitchell said Tuesday that Trump's flood of executive orders is just a cheap spectacle meant to distract us while his administration moves to gut our health care and SNAP benefits. Immigrant families aren't the reason we can't afford eggs or prescription drugs. Billionaire CEOs are, Mitchell said. Good afternoon, Maywood. Good afternoon, Joe. I hope you feel a little better. Get some rest. Alistair Waters is also in the house. Welcome to Politics Done Right, Alistair Waters. Love having you here. So, folks, that is pretty much our program for today. But remember, if you have MAGA relatives, MAGA families, remember it's worth it to talk to them. I repeat, it's worth it to talk to them. Many of them won't listen to you. Many of them will ignore you. Egberto Willies, 22 states challenge Trump's executive order cutting birthright citizenship. It's in the Constitution. Yep. If they follow the Constitution, they have to maintain that. But anyway, so we're at the end of the program. And here comes my ask. Look, we have a lot of work to do. And as you can see, our information system is in jeopardy. And I don't say that lightly. With these 4 billionaires controlling most of what you are going to read, most of what you're going to see and most of what you're going to determine is truth or not, we have got to create our own information infrastructure. I'm part of, with Politics Done Right, that information structure out there attempting to educate, attempting to enlighten. But we cannot live in a vacuum. We need to be funded, and I'm as frank as I can. And it's becoming harder and harder to fight the power, and the only way that we have found to do it is having a subscription model. And that means you supporting the program if you see the necessity of what we do. And remember, what we do is not just this program that we have here on KPFT or on CB or on Pacifica or on Substack or on whatever network, YouTube Live. We are everywhere. We try to be everywhere. We know we're throttled. Throttle mean that these networks try to slow down how much of your information actually gets to different eyeballs. We know that, but we throw ourselves everywhere. TikTok, Instagram, Substack, Facebook Live, Twitch, all of them. We put ourselves everywhere to just get a glimpse of somebody. But the other thing that we do is we try to email you a newsletter or information directly to your box. And we send it directly to your box because that's the one thing they don't have full control over. They can throttle us, but they can't stop you unless they stop many others from seeing the direct connection that we have by email. So I ask you to subscribe to our newsletter. It's called Egberto Off the Record, and it includes all of this podcast, my books, everything. That subscription to our newsletter gives you more than the newsletter. If you go to politicsdoneright.com/newsletter, that gives you the opportunity to subscribe to it. If you're already on Substack or you're watching us through the Substack tool, you can subscribe from that and become a paid subscriber. Become a paid subscriber. It's inexpensive. It's less than a coffee. And you know what? It makes us able to do this. Right now, Bearcat was asking, why don't you do what you're doing with your software development as you're doing this? I work 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you doubt it, talk to my wife, who is the one suffering from being deprived for the amount of work we have to do. I haven't had a vacation in a while because it's that much involved for us to do this work. But it's work that has to get done. And there are thousands of small news and info folks, activists like myself doing this. And we need thousands more. But we also need support. We were able to give $1.2 billion to people that just wasted their money with consultants. We're asking for pennies on the dollar to support this kind of a project over and over again. So I ask you kindly to please go to politicsdoneright.com/newsletter and become a paid subscriber. It's very, very cheap, and you won't feel that. But if many of you do it, we will. And eventually, I'll be able to hire part-time help for what we're doing here. And I wouldn't have to spend these 16-hour days to do this. But we have to do this. This is a must, and especially now that Donald Trump is in power. I want to thank you all for being here today. I got to get out of here. My name is Egberto Willies. This is Politics Done Right. You guys know how I end this baby. I am what?
Welcome to Politics Done Right. I am your host, Egberto Willies. This is a progressive program that will take the mystery out of politics. This is the program that will encourage you to make sure government becomes we the people. Whether you are liberal, progressive, conservative, or otherwise, you get to air your point of view. We are an independent media outlet that, unlike mainstream media beholden to corporations, we only owe allegiance to you. Remember, you can also send me a tweet at EGBERTOWILLIES. That is at Egberto Willies. Let us engage. It is politics done right.